Thank you. You got your hat. That's good. I was worried about that. You good? There you go. Your face is right. So we have a barn in the background?
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Barn in the background.
Thank everybody for coming out. I'm so sorry that you're not able to get inside. I really feel bad about that. So what I'll do here is we'll just spend a few minutes out here. I won't give a speech. I'll just take a few questions. And so you get a chance, at least you can come and you can hear a few questions answered. I do it outside, but to be very honest with you, I just did an event, and my voice is a little strained right now from doing an outside event without a mic. And I do have a debate tonight that I have to talk in.
Talk about electability, Senator.
Senator, do you feel good about that? Electability? Yeah, this is, I feel, it's a funny question to get when they say that the only guy who's actually defeated an incumbent Democrat to win a 60% Democratic House district and then got redistricted into a 71% Democratic House district and won, and then ran against the Democratic incumbent in a state with almost 1 million more Democrats than Republicans and won in a race that James Carville managed against me, and then again had a 90+% conservative voting record that entire time, managed controversial bills like welfare reform and partial birth abortion and the balanced budget amendment. Then I ran for re-election after that record in a state where George Bush that election year lost by 5, and I won by 6. And all of a sudden, I'm the one that has to say that I'm the electable one. When has any other of the candidates in this race ever won a Democratic district for Congress? Answer, none of them. Has any of them ever won a state as a conservative? That is a swing state? None of them. Governor Romney ran, but he didn't run as a conservative. You all know that. He didn't run as a conservative when he ran. I ran in 1994, so did he. He ran to the left of Ted Kennedy, and he lost. I ran as a strong conservative, a conviction conservative, and I was able to win. So if you're looking, all of the candidates who are lined up in this primary are lined up saying they're going to be the real conservative. Fine, I believe you. But what you have to show that you've been able to be a conservative and able to be elected. And no one has the experience, has ever run the tough races. I've run races in big, tough, complex states with big cities and lots of issues you have to deal with those. I've been able to do a lot. All these guys in the national media, you've been there, done that. This is not my first rodeo. So if you're looking for someone who can win, then look at the track record of a winner. I've run 5 times. I've won 4. Mitt Romney's run 3 times. He's lost twice. And the one time he ran as a liberal. And he didn't run for re-election because he couldn't win. So let's just look at electability and have a real conversation about it instead of looking at 1 of 5 elections and say I lost. I lost the election in 2006 in the worst election year for Republicans in the history of the state of Pennsylvania. And by the way, I wasn't the only senator to lose that year. We lost 23 out of 33 Senate races that year. So let's look at, I have with me, is Jake here? Jake Corman? Is he around? Where are you? Jake Corman's a state senator from Pennsylvania. Jake ran in 2006, the same year I ran, and ran against the same opponent that he ran in 4 years later. Jake won his race by 3 points in a fairly heavily Republican district, and, by 6 points. 53-47, and this year you won, you got 70%. So it was a very bad year, and the preoccupation with the media on this is, my opinion, they don't want a conservative to be the nominee of this party. That's the bottom line, okay?
So your campaigns.
Let's do that.
You say you're a conservative,
yeah.
That's awesome. However, let's talk about earmarks in Pennsylvania, your stance on gay marriage, your stance on gays in the military, your stance on women's right to choose. How can you define that being conservative when you want more government in those areas and less in others?
Well, it's not government in those areas. I mean, in the case of life, we have another life involved, and we're protecting all innocent human life. And so that is a conservative position. It is a founder's position that we are endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights. Earmarks. I believe that when the people of New Hampshire, the people of Pennsylvania send money to Washington, D.C., that the folks you elect should go there and make sure that that money is allocated appropriately back to the states and in a way that's fair. And so that's what I did, and it has been done, by the way, under the Constitution. Well, Pennsylvania's the 5th largest state in the country. So, I mean, $1 billion, I probably should be, I mean, we spend trillions. So look, the bottom line is, look at the things that I did.
How about China?
I'll be right there. Look at the things that I did. Look at all the different things that I voted for. I went out into the local communities. I asked my commissioners, I asked the folks in the business community, what sorts of things, given where the federal money is going to be spent, what sorts of things would you like to see that are priorities for this community to make sure that these monies are spent wisely? And that's what I did. And when it got abused, and it did, and it led to more spending, I came out along with Jim DeMint, who was an earmarker, and I came out and said, end the practice. And that's my position right now. Well, yeah, you folks here in New England have now, have a relationship with Penn State thanks to taking Coach O'Brien. Joe used to yell at players. Maybe that's why they took the guy O'Brien. So anyway, on the issue of China, you asked me that question. Look, China is a very serious concern right now. We see the president, and you saw it just the other day. The president lays out a vision of American decline in the world. He is taken. There's only one area of the budget that the president of the United States has consistently decided is worth cutting, and that's defense. This is his third time. It's his third time that he has cut defense and proposed cuts in defense. 2 times he's been able to get it accomplished, and now he's trying to do it a third time. And that is not the area of the budget that is growing. The areas of the budget that's exploding and causing a problem in the future are domestic discretionary programs and entitlement programs. And the president is doing absolutely nothing about that. On China, what we've done is we've sent signals to the rest of the world that the United States is not going to be a player, that we are going to continue to move back and withdraw. We are continuing to allow international organizations to have a major role. I will give the president one positive. His deployment of troops in a base in Australia was a good move. And if the president does something right, since it's so rare, I'll highlight it. And in this case, I think he did a good thing by having troops deployed in Australia as a sign to China that they are a close ally and we're going to have a presence in the region. But overall, his defense posture and what he's doing is giving, I think, a wrong signal to China, who is being, as you know, much more openly hostile about American shipping interest and international waters and how they're dealing with Korea and Japan, Taiwan. We need to be. I'm not suggesting we need a military buildup. We need to hold the military at least harmless right now, while the rest of the government shrinks down to the level that it should be appropriately under our Constitution. Okay, I got to go inside. I really greatly appreciate everybody coming out. I apologize, I really do, for not being able to for everybody to get in. But thank you so much for being here. Thanks, Senator.